Hello everybody, happy Friday Eve. Is anybody as happy as I am that tomorrow is Friday? Yay! So tonight, let's go ahead and use the embossing folder, the Leaf Fall embossing folder. You see it? It's very, very pretty. It'd be better if it wasn't upside down. Sorry about that. Anyways, we're going to use both sides of this embossing folder tonight. Here are the cards that we're going to work on. This is using it the regular way with some sponging. And then this is doing it, oops, I don't remember which way this was. It was one way, I just don't remember. And then this was the opposite way, sorry. I just don't remember. So we're going to end up using our big Stampin' and Emboss machine. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a piece of white paper and we're going to use it the regular way. And what we do is we put, this is a 3D embossing folder, and we just put it wherever we would like. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I'm just going to set it in here however looks good. And then I'm going to bring my big glue, as in L-E-W, glue. Checking some Facebook stuff to see if I'm actually broadcasting. There I am. Anyways, this is the big one. Has two sides, a handle, and it has specific plates in which you use. And for a 3D embossing folder, you use plate 1. You put it in, and then you put your embossing folder in where the folded edge goes in first. And then you put plate 4. And then you just push in a little bit. You turn this. It might make a loud sound. That is very normal. I know. See, there it is. I know the first time that I did it, I was like, oh no, I've busted it. I was quite distraught. But then I realized that I did not bust it. And I was like, okay, whew. So here it is. This right here, embossing, seeing people, demonstrators do embossing. Oh my stars. It was the reason I decided that I had to get back into stamping and had to get the big old Stampin' Moss machine from Stampin' Up. I apologize, I appear to be a little crooked. Alright, so what we're going to do, we've done this before, but what we're going to do really quick on this is a little bit of sponge embossing. We're going to use apparently my favorite colors for fall. The Crushed Curry, the Mossy Meadow, and the Soft Suede. And I also have a little bit of Balmy Blue, some Sweet Sorbet, and some Pumpkin Pie. I think we're probably just going to use the Pumpkin Pie. Maybe throw in a little bit of the Sweet Sorbet. So let's just go ahead and open all this stuff up. And then we're just really quickly just going to go ahead, put our dauber in there. And we're just going to no rhyme, no reason. Just add some ink to this. Whatever looks good to you guys. So, are you anywhere where you're affected by this, what is it, hurricane, tropical storm? Is it Nicole? I do not watch the weather, trust me. I have to rely on other people to say, oh hey, there is a storm coming, you might want to be prepared. Alright, so we're going to pull out the Sweet Sorbet. I'm going to do that just a little bit, yeah. The leaves have been so pretty here this week. I have done a lot of raking of the leaves. So there you go. Let's close up all of our ink pads. It could probably use a little bit more, but this is good. There's one little spot. Didn't get anything. Okay. So there we go. And oops. And I think tonight we're not necessarily gonna put the cards together. We're gonna do more of the embossing, etc. But if I were going to put this together, I would do my 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4 piece of cardstock. And on this one, on the sample that I ended up making, I thought that my colors looked better on blue background. So that's what I brought out to here. And this, by the way, this white square, this was a 3.5 inch square, and this and the other pieces of cardstock that you'll see in a little bit, they are 3 3/4 inch square. I would just adhere that down and then put that down, and then I would do whatever sentiment I wanted to. I was a little skeptical about doing sentiments on here, but I did it anyways. You could, because I did not want to cover up the embossing folder and the colors. So that is how you do it. And of course you could change out whatever colored cardstock you wanted to. You don't have to go like a brown or crumb cake. Now, and here's where we're gonna get a little messy. Just a little bit, not bad. So, and I really wish I could remember how I did it. All right. I'm going to do it a little bit different than what I did in this card. In this card, I actually applied with my sponge dauber the ink. And after looking at it last night and today, I was like, I wonder if it could look better if I took the ink pad to the embossing folder, which is normally what I have heard others do. So let's go ahead and try that. And we are going to ink up this side because this is actually the top, because the logo here is supposed to go up on top. So this is, excuse me, this is the top. So we're going to take our little inks here and kind of like what we were doing with our daubers. I don't know if y'all can hear that rain. Here comes the rain. It would be better if I had the bigger ink pads, but you know, I don't. They will come along. Now, the last one I want to throw in here is probably going to be orange. I don't think I'm going to do the red one. Ooh, cross your fingers, it turns out okay. Ooh. That might have been a little too much. Think we should go back over it a little bit? I think we should. I think all we have now is the pumpkin pie color. All right. And I would not advise mixing colors like that on your good big ink pads, but you know. All right, last little one, a little bit. Told you it's just a little bit messy, but this cleans up. It does, I promise you. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and put this right there. And then, and I might have moved it, might have some smears. We're gonna bring back big old Lou here, and we're going to put that logo on top. I'm gonna put it in. Oops, I don't have it lined up right. I was already feeling resistance. And of course, when I say resistance, I can't help but to think of Star Trek. Resistance is futile when the Borg were involved. I know. I am a Trekkie. And then let us see. Oh, that did not come out as nice as it's... Oh, y'all. This is live. This did not come out as nice. Do you see that? Well, I call that a fail. However, we're going to do something. We are just going to clean this up. Now, if I was near my sink, I would wash it off with some water. I'll do that later tonight. All right. That is like a disgusting mess, don't you think? So let's try this one again. All right, because this really does work, and it's really cool. And yeah, that did not. So, all right, we will do it the old-fashioned way. But you know what? That is the thing about crafting, being creative. You don't know until you try something of whether or not it's going to work. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. And we saw right there that what I did not work. So we're going to go ahead and do what I did last night. And I will be perfecting applying the ink pad to the embossing folder. Because it is a very cool technique. I have this embossing folder that I cannot wait to use on my Christmas cards. It's like of pine needles, and it's so pretty. And I actually want to add some craft white ink to it to kind of mimic pine needles with some snow on them. I just need to have a little time to play. But that's the thing about being creative. You just, once you start, sometimes it's hard to stop. You just want to keep going and going. Okay, now I think we'll go ahead and we'll add a little bit of red. You know, the red can be very dominant, so we don't want to add too much, just a little bit. Just a little touches. And of course, as you saw, there is no rhyme or reason on how to do the ink. Let's close these up because I am already inky fingers. So I have a question for y'all. What would be a good name for a Facebook page? We put that on there for my crafting. You think Creative Inky Fingers would be good? Do something else Inky Fingers? All right, everybody cross their fingers and hope that this works out and it doesn't look like something disgusting when it comes out. Because really, this worked. I did this last night and I was like, oh my gosh, it looked so decent. Here I am trying to stray from the plan. And it looks like, something. All right. Okay, that looks much better. Much better than this one. Yeah, we're just going to throw that away. So, again, that was what we have done so far. Is we have taken a 3x3, 3.5 inch square without doing anything to it, put it in there as is, and then we've taken our sponge daubers and we've applied ink to the image once it's been embossed. Now we just went ahead and we applied ink to what I call the top part of the embossing folder, put in our same size paper, and this was the result that we got. This one, I'm gonna say would probably look good on the red because there's some hints of red in there. And, you know, I could have filled it more in. I could have put more ink on there, but I didn't. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clean this off just a little bit. And we're going to go and do the bottom of the folder. See, this is the bottom of it. We're going to do the same thing. And before I do that, I actually need to cut a piece of paper. I did not bring out enough paper. So real quick, 3.5 by 3.5. So we're going to go ahead and do sponging on the bottom half of, or the back side, the back of the embossing folder. Using the same colors because, you know, those just seem to be the colors I really like. So have you guys started to get creative with the holidays coming up and, you know, Christmas and all that? Do y'all make your own Christmas cards? I have not even started on my Christmas cards. I'm like, oh, I'm so far behind. I'm like, people might get winter holiday cards. Although I have some beautiful stamp sets and I have plans for what I want to do. I just need to, as my mama would say, I need to stop running the roads and just sit down and craft and do it. You know, where, I don't know, order pizza in or something like that and just work. Last year was the first year that I had sent out Christmas cards in a number of years. But I had fun making them, so because I had just started to get back in to stamping after 20 years or so of not being in it. I think I want a little bit more orange, just a little bit, and then just a tad of the red. Now, y'all, I cannot make this up. I'm trying to close the ink pad and look at what happens. It's my new nail polish. Oh my word. I should have had out my baby wipes because, yeah. I look like I've been in some iodine or something. Okay. I am a mess, just a mess. I think every time I do a video for y'all, I end up getting covered in ink. All right, so this is the bottom part of the embossing, our piece of paper right there. And I probably just smeared my ink. Bring back our embossing machine, plate number 1. And we're still going to go ahead and do it the same way. We're still going to make sure the fold goes in first. The logo is on top. Plate number 4 is on top. And we just run it through. Very easy. I love this machine. We also have a little mini one, which is great if you travel. I don't have that. On the wish list. And here we go. So did you notice it was like that? So what happened was we de-embossed. Is that what it is? This side actually looks kind of cool too, but this was the side that we were going for. I think why I tried to do the ink pad to the embossing folder is the little parts of this kind of like, you know, I don't know. It didn't look as good as I had wanted it to. So again, if I were going to go ahead and make the card, but we're not tonight, we're just working on the actual technique of sponging our embossing folder so we could get more out of it. Let's see. That was what, the de-emboss, I think. And this is the embossed by inking up the folder. And then this one is doing the embossing and inking up the cardstock after it's been embossed. So, I mean, y'all might like this better, or maybe you like that better, or, you know, so many ways. But I love the fact that you could utilize this one embossing folder like at least 3 different ways here. I mean, talk about a little bang for your buck there. And honestly, all I'm going to do, I'm not even going to use soap when I get done. I'm going to take this to the sink. The ink will rinse right off because it's water-based ink. And then I will just tap it dry a little bit. And I will leave it open so that it can thoroughly air dry before I put it away. Now, maybe you like this, but you're like, well, I don't know if I want to go ahead and, you know, do the whole inking of the embossing folder. Maybe I don't want to do that. So what we could do is this. And I saw my card girl Amy do this on one of the cards that we had made at her class on Saturday. And I was like, oh, that's such a good idea. I love that idea. You don't mind if I share it, do you? All right. Now what she did, hers was in white, and it was using a different embossing folder and stuff like that. She had taken white and then 5.5 by 8.5, scored it 4 1/4, and then she had taken, oh, what is it, 4 by 5 1/4, I think, another piece of the same colored cardstock, and then whatever embossing folder you're using on this one, because it's the leaves, I thought using brownish colors, and these are Craft Store X. I couldn't tell you the color. I'm sure Stampin' Up! Has similar-ish colors. And we just went ahead and we put it down there. And then we would tie a ribbon, and you... Can I just say this right here is the reason why I love Stampin' Up! Products, because my cardstock will match with my ribbon, which will match with my ink. Everything coordinates and I don't have to think about it. This is not Stampin' Up! Products right here, and this annoys me. But I am determined to continue to use my stash as much as possible, so that's what we're doing. But we would go ahead and tie this around, make a bow, make a knot, however you want to do it, and then you would stamp your sentiment up here. And I thought if I were to finish this card, I thought using this big thanks stamp right up here, right on the cardstock, would be awesome. And I think if I finish this out, it would go ahead and probably use the soft suede. I'm not sure if another color, maybe black, not really positive. Or this color is kind of, I don't know, kind of maybe reminds me of what we did over here. This is not a bad color choice, okay, for browns. I did not try it, but I thought maybe kind of, not a deep chocolate brown, but going that way. I'm not sure if our Old Espresso from Stampin' Up! would do good as showing off the embossing folder or not. But maybe you don't want color. Maybe you want a little bit more elegant card. Then go ahead and add ribbon. Not sure what ribbon color. I guess it would really depend on what the theme, the thought you're going with. And then just maybe black or a gray ink for the sentiment. You could do it that way. Or you could take this color base, and you could do that like that. That adds just a little pop of color. And again, I would still do a ribbon just to add a little bit more. Or, and these two colors here do not really coordinate, but just to show you, if you used a colored base for your card, you can do it like that. Or this one probably looks the best. So there you go. I know we didn't make the cards, but I really wanted to show you guys more of what you could do with your embossing folder. You do not want to do that. That was a disaster. But it was also a learning experience, which is really what we're going for. So here they are again. Those were the samples that I had made for y'all last night. And where did my samples from tonight go? And here's what we did using the same concept. Embossed it, then sponged it. Applied ink to the embossing folder, the top part of the embossing folder. And then over here, we applied it to the bottom part of the embossing folder. And again, simple water, no soap, will rinse all of this ink off and it'll be good as new. Or you could go for the more elegant card here and here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful to you and how to use the supplies that you have. I would really love it if you would go ahead and give me a like, maybe even give me a comment. That would be awesome. And I hope to see you on Sunday with probably another fall-ish related card or something like that. Have a good night. Bye.